as I was saying before, guys, like in my family, we all need to grow up. My mom is like, how much years old now? And I could still say that about her, that she needs to grow up. You know, I get told that by my oldest, that I need to grow up. In what form? I don't know. I think we all in this family have that Peter Pan syndrome, or that Michael Jackson syndrome. That's what I call it. Where we might all need to grow up in some ways. Can all improve in growing up in some ways, I'd say. But I've learned that the mistake we do, because I think if somebody was putting their foot down when I was wasting out my life and tried to correct me or say, and maybe they never had the capacity, not the capacity, like, I don't know how to explain it, like, they didn't have that wisdom. But sometimes in my mind I'm thinking, yeah, they were quite happy with the role I play. So in terms of like, when I was working, anybody call me and say, oh Rose, I'm in a spot, I'm in a jam, yeah, babysitting wise, anybody's gonna do the running up and down to say if there's something and we have to fly out of the country and stuff like that, I'll be the first to say, don't worry, I'll do it. I'll leave my job. You know, because I never take them things very serious. So maybe that's why. But I know that when I did have my kids, I moved to make sure that I make better decisions. You know, I ain't gonna say that I'm without faults. 99% of the time I stay with my kids. I never go out drinking, or, you know, not to say people can't have a drink here and there, but I never took up all of them things. I never think, oh yeah, let me leave my kids and go. I try and stick around to be there for them. So you ain't gonna be having all the tools and be perfect all along, because, you know, there are gonna be limitations. But I just think, what I know now, I think it's very important to tell people when they're doing something that's not positive, or they're wrong, or like I always speak on, I ain't letting nobody volunteer me to, like, I was saying to one of my sisters recently, like, when you keep yourself out of shit and starve yourself from even laughing at times because you don't want to be polluted with all of the negative out there, in, you know, because sometimes you going around friends, next minute you know, I know I'm on about all different type of topics here, guys. But next minute you know, you and them having fallout about, oh, I'm just over it. Like, I've gone to the point now where I'm just over it. So I'll tell you something, like, one part of the story of growing up, like, trying to get back on track. So like I said, when I was going to school, I never really took the educational part seriously. When I did take things seriously is when I came to the UK and had opportunities to kind of go back through school a little bit. And then I was doing catering, and because I was so domesticated when I was growing up in Jamaica, the teachers found out that was like one of my niches. So I used to cook a lot at school, and it just something that comes natural to me because I used to do it all the time, looking after dinner and back home. And, you know, they used to find it fascinating that it came so natural to me. It's not, you know, I'd just throw up a dish. I remember I used to make anything. And then sometimes, like, even with their makeup, I used to do their makeup. So I ended up being recommended to a school, but I was not meant to be going like to the main school where people have to have like 9 GCSEs to go to and all of these things. I was meant to go to like another branch where academically it didn't have to be that strong. But I ended up in the school that was the one that their requirements was like 9 GCSEs. That's when God worked for you. Yeah, one of the best school, catering college in London. Those who are out there that knows, Westminster College, that's the one I go. I think it was 91. Like I said, I'm not good with dates, but it's around there, the 91 to 93 mark. Those are my era in that school. And when people like, we had a 2-year course, hotel and catering management, 2-year course. I didn't pass some of the subjects because some of the subjects was another language, and I was struggling with my English, let alone Spanish. And so that's another hilarious story. Cause I didn't know what the shit I was chatting about. It's just, oh gosh, God help me. But I remember the shit I was chatting about, like, to tell the story. But in the class, when we had Spanish exam, oh Lord, was that a joke or what? Was that a joke or what? The only thing I knew, I'd have to be thinking if it's not Spanish or French, but it was Spanish. Because I remember I didn't bother with French, but the Spanish looked like it would have come across a little bit better than the French. So I said the language I wanted to do was Spanish. I remember the only thing I bloody knew in Spanish and knew until this day was that soup, and it's because it's to do with cooking as well. The gazpacho soup, for those out there that knows it. Cold soup, gazpacho. That was the only bloody thing I It's a sad case. Sad case, if I do say so myself. That exam. So there was certain criteria that didn't quite fill. I remember when the British kids was getting kicked out. Because if you didn't finish the first year, you can't go into the second year. Asha was still there for the second year. All the way through. And again, and again. So in that sense, that was still an achievement, a great achievement. I don't know, guys, if I'm good at story time, because I'll be telling you the start, the finish, and the middle all in one. I can't follow a pattern in that, I don't think. Unless I really force myself to stick on track. And I think it flows better when I do it my way. You know, and when all is said and done, I did it my way. So go, you know those movies now that they're doing, like they show you the beginning, then they show the middle, and then they might show you the end. Oh, that's not how it goes. Like they show you the beginning, and then they might show you the end, and then they show you the middle, or then they show you the end, then the middle, then the beginning. Yeah, I think that's probably how my mind works, process best, to be fair. I wouldn't say it's a nutshell format in that sense. So like I was saying, in Jamaica, going back to Jamaica, guys, out of Britain, back to Jamaica, back to Jamaica, yeah. So what I can remember, there was like 3 main houses that I can remember distinctively staying. One was near where I went to school, where we lived in like a housing scheme, and they were built up over there, quite nice, quite posh. I can remember even memories from like rolling in the grass, using the grass to plait as doll's hair, stuff like that. I could remember things like that coming in my memory. It was a very nice house. It's like basically like how the houses is kind of started off in Jamaica now, with like the 2-room bathroom and living room situation. They used to have that behind my school. I can't remember exactly where that scheme was, what it was called, but it's behind my school. Yeah. And yeah, I remember that. That was one of the nicest house I can remember. And then we had, then I can remember us having a home which is still standing now, which my mom owned, but because of fear we don't really go back there. That's in Glendoven. It was like 3 houses. My mom's house, then my sister had a house in the middle, one of my older sister, and then my brother had a house at the bottom, one of my brother. Yeah, he had a house at the bottom, so it was like lined up in 3 ways going down. Like one there, one down the bottom. So yeah, those are the houses I can remember living in. And most of the cleaning that I was doing is mainly in my mom's house, that top house at the top. I remember, because I remember that, like, she had the veranda, very nice as well. And you have to clean that, you know, no nonsense cleaning. Clean it, you could see your reflection in that shit when you finish cleaning it. Yeah. Yeah, you could have seen your reflection up in there when you finish cleaning that house. Clean, washing up, those type of things, shenanigans, and then cooking. Yeah, I used to cook all sorts from when I was very young. I was the type of person that, like, I remember it was most, as you can see from what the description I give you about the 3 houses going down, you can see that it's like a family house, family all the way through. So sometimes my auntie used to live with my sister at her house, and then she had her kids, and then when she's going to work, I look after the kids. Like, I started looking after kids from very young, like 9, 10. Yeah. Look after my nephews. When they get in trouble, like, for pooing them themselves and stuff like that, I used to disguise them before they get their ass whipped. Go wash them off, look after them. They remember. And my cousins as well, making sure that my auntie could go to work. The help I get with, like, give out, I don't get that with my kids. And I'm not blaming anybody for it. Like I said, because of my background, I hold on to my kids very dearly. But it doesn't mean that we don't need the help. I'm going to use the help, because they never had a dad. My first set of 3, they had a dad, but, like, you know, on a daily. Not saying it was completely out of their life, don't get me wrong. Not here to paint a real negative picture, even though it is negative, but I'm not here to paint a real negative picture, because it's there at points, but I more or less look after my own kids throughout life. And these excuses, you wanted to look after them, that's what you wanted, so I gave you what you wanted. Yeah, that's the gist of it. I don't know what this I'm doing. I'm not drawing this properly, guys. But yeah, it was that kind of ways. But, you know, who really and truly, I'm just doing the best for survival, or the best for how I felt, and how I could cope, you know. But I think help, like, when you're helping somebody, Yeah, you don't have to tell them about the help. That's how I see it, guys. If I'm wrong, correct me. And this story is getting too long, so I'm going to have to, this is what I said, I need 2 or 3. So if you guys enjoy this little story time, even though it's up, down, in the middle, all around, blah, 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 you guys know the drift. Yeah, but before I go, I'll say, if you're trying to help somebody, and I'll go after I fix my eyebrow, really, I can't go before that because this is a shambles, really. This is a shambles, Rose. I know it's hard to concentrate talking and then doing your makeup at the same time. But I just didn't want to go and sit and just talking to you all the way without doing something, you know. Maybe when you get to the serious stuff, all I'll bring is a bit of smack, because like I said, it's starting from the front, going in the middle, you know. It's the best way I know how. Going to the end, coming back to the middle. Yeah. Thank God I remember. I'm getting better at this because I remember my starting point. Help. I think if you're going to help somebody, they don't even have to know they're going to get their help. You know what I mean? When I'm helping people, I'll just do it. And that's what I struggle with now with. It makes me stop helping people because I feel like when I need help, I ask. Yeah, not all the time, because I feel like it's hard to explain. Let me just stop what I'm doing and try to make sense of what I'm saying the best way I can in terms of one point of it is sometimes when I don't ask, it doesn't mean I need the help. But I find generally when I really, really need the help, I ask. And I feel like I was volunteering to help everybody without sometimes them even asking. 90% of the time, I'd say. Without them even asking, I'll just drop things, fill in the gap, blah, blah, blah. So it makes their life easier. Where I feel like in my case, that wasn't the case. Never have, never will be. The only person that I put the most demand on and stuff like that is my partner. You know? Angelo, Dad, you get the most of the shite. If I'm being real, honest about the whole situation. You get the because I kind of got to the stage now where I've always tell the truth in terms of always try to explain, but maybe now I explain far too much, and you know, before I probably just was going along with the flow and putting up with stuff that now I don't really want to be putting up with stuff that I don't have to put up with, or expose myself with stuff that I don't feel like I should be exposing myself to, that all of that, because as I point out to you, I deal in care as well, and I very much know it's elderly care, and I realize as well when we get older, all these things that we put up with through our lives, the things that we have to put up with, on top of the unnecessary shit that we didn't have to put up with, all of them things come to your forefront and you have to deal with it too, especially when you're old and on end of care, or all of them things, if you guys understand what I mean. All of these things are going to be going through your head. So the necessary one, fair enough. The unnecessary one, trust me, I'll limit that. In now me 40 yards, I'll limit that. And I don't care who agree, because I feel like even the young generation, I'll tell you guys how long I've been working, the younger generation, they don't want to do nothing, very little, if anything at all, and they want to push all the hard stuff, or the stuff that they don't want to have to deal with it, even though they're younger and stronger than you by far. They don't want to have to take on any hard stuff when you carry them like you're Jesus, you know. And then you don't see them trying to pull their weight. And not all of them. When I'm talking, I'm not, you know, not everybody's the same, because like I said, I get help from my kids sometimes, where I have to feel like, you know, Rose, make sure that you know, don't put too much pressure on your child because of my experience, and know that sometimes it's like you're pushing them to the limits, and if they're trying, you don't want to be doing that. So, but there's some, all they do, they'll sit there and they'll blame you, and they'll have a lot to say, and they have all their strength and energy to be using now while they're young and strong, and all they do is put that energy in their mouth. Guys, yeah, that's all they do. And point finger here, point finger there, you know. And sometimes you find who you help is not the person that's going to help you. You just have to get on with it. Because I get help from people that I didn't expect to get help from at all. And sometimes you have to accept that help, even when you don't want to, because I remember a time when I was really ill. So I have to kind of force myself sometimes, like, to, you know, I've got a trust issue, to allow some of the help, or allow some people in my life, but I'm very much a bit close-offish. I'm trying to find a shot now, guys, and it's not happening. So this is the ridiculousness of my eyebrow at the minute. It's just not. It just don't want to play ball for me today. And like I said, I come on here very unprepared. But the foundation, I have to get back my bit more pricey stuff, but it can do. It's winter time. Nobody got time to be looking in your direction. British people, they're nosy, but they're not that nosy. Even though in the same breath you'd be surprised. Ah, God. Yeah, so that's my story, Cinderella. And I'll come back and give you, you know, you guys out there, you've been asking for this. I hope it makes sense, you know. It's all of some of my subscribers, like, I really appreciate them, because I appreciate all of my subscribers, but I really love and appreciate the ones that interact, and, like, you know, there's one and two that, when I tell you, really hit the nail on the head in terms of when they do comment, they kind of get the picture of what I'm trying to deliver, and their comments help me to know that what I'm saying, it helps, you know. I used to talk a lot on my Facebook page as well, and it is the feedback I get that makes me know that, you know, because you feel this urge that you need to be expressing yourself and talking about these things, because a lot of people probably think, different situations, people think they're the only ones in it, and then when somebody else share their story, it helps and it makes a lot of sense, and it helps their struggle be easier, and it, you know, you kind of feel like, well, I feel like I kind of have to share my story to try and help other people out there, because I find like people find it hard to tell the truth or deal with the truth. And it's a major fear factor when you find yourself like that. You don't want to admit the truth, your truth. You feel like your truth is too shocking to be told or to be heard. But then, you know, if you don't come face with it, you find struggle. Because another thing I don't know if I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned, that, you know, I go through depression, nobody probably wouldn't think. But, you know, which stems back from when my first two set of kids, probably, like, one of them majorly, But yeah, in terms of the ones that you don't see, the story behind that, the one that didn't survive, the ones that didn't survive to this day, that's I'm meant to talk about, and it's a lot less cryptic than it sounds, but it's something I'll touch on another time. But you know, like one of them is a very traumatic experience. And when you're not used to things, when you're not used to, like when you're growing up and you're young and you come across certain things that you've never dealt with or come across before, it can have a lasting effect on your life. So that's why I always tell people to spare themselves from some of the unnecessary things that they feel like they have to be putting themselves into or through, which they don't. So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoy my part 1 of my story of growing up. Give me any feedback, encouragement, and you know, I'll just make a part 2, and then I'll probably start branching off with the stories about those 2 pregnancies that the children are not here now to show, to put it in the best way I can. Yeah. But, you know, all in all, like I always say, look after you. If you can't look after you, you can't look after anyone else. And, you know, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, guys. Share this video with anyone who think would appreciate watching any of my videos. You're welcome to share. And, yeah, and hopefully I'll do a part 2. And I hope my part 1, because I was just feeling a bit inspired this morning, so I hope it come across in that way, because it has been challenging for me to even do, you know, and I'm just trying to express myself the best way I know how and the best way I can, you know. So, you know, take care, guys, and yeah, bye for now.